Hi, how you doing today? I wanted to go over the notes that I took from an interview I saw on YouTube from Impact Theory with special guest CEO Leila Janah. And she covers a couple of things about how she became who she was, how she thinks, how she believes, and I want to share them today. And starting with recommendation from her to reading about failure and thinking about how failure can shape you. She recommends a book called Option B by Sheryl Sandberg, and she really thinks that reading into failure is a great way to know how people came to the positions they're in. And it's a lot of times we tend to be reading about the successes of people but miss the journey that it took for them to get to that point, all the mistakes that led up to the point where we see them. And she believes that the single best indicator of success for an entrepreneur is their ability to stay in the game and not quit. And I'm thinking about myself as somebody who was trying to get into the data science game and practicing and struggling to understand specific concepts. And I've always had this dream that I would become some kind of data consultant, data wizard, just someone so adept at learning about the ins and outs of data quality, acquisition, visualization, just helping people understand what's going on with their companies. And maybe you can take from this example is that I should not quit. Just keep going. Don't quit. And when she was growing up, she was enlisted into very much depression. She was in depression and felt that throughout her life that she wouldn't be able to make it. And she felt unity at one point in her soul when she found that her purpose was aligned with her career, and her career was nurturing her spirit. And she felt that this was the best feeling, to know where she's spending her time in the way that is so positive for her. Another way that she's been thinking about is some couple steps for her that she really feels that it's been helping her stay grounded and become like a successful entrepreneur. And the first thing she briefly touches on is meditation and mindfulness. And after that point, she didn't really actually go into it. The next thing was to zoom out and contemplate nature. So going into forest she brings up the example that studies have shown that from Japan, that if you go into a forest and you just spend some time in there, your chemistry changes, and they call it forest bathing. When you're in wilderness, she feels that from her point of view, it's a method of sensing yourself small and so humbling yourself to the epicness of the world, that your problems are puny and insignificant compared to the rest of the world as a whole. And that she strongly believes that when you die, it's important to know that you'll become stardust. You just turn to a point where you're just something physical, and it's the part of you before you die that it's really important and crucial to love others, and to be loved is the most graceful thing. And she also mentions to insert a pause before responding. She recalls that there has been so many major decisions that have gone wrong because she did not pause before responding. Taking a moment to stop and think before you respond to a message, because she cites her own entrepreneurial side that always wants to just jump in on things and just complete things, and very assertive, aggressive with things. But she feels that taking that time before responding is very important. And I wanted to do some more digging on my own about Leila Janah to learn about her life, because I know that she came from a family where they immigrated into the USA just with 2 suitcases, and she was born to two parents that were very supportive of her. Her mom actually has a degree in English Lit, but it wasn't very recognized, so she ended up chopping onions for like a like little restaurant. And I don't know what her dad was doing, but she ended up feeling like she didn't belong anywhere. She was like really nerdy. She was like reading, and she felt that she wasn't gonna fit in with other people. And she got into Harvard, and she didn't have enough money to get through it, so she had to work jobs during college. And one of her jobs was to work for the dorm crew, which was essentially to clean the dorms and to scrub shit off people's toilets, from her words. And she found that it really humbled her and built character, because she was thinking, it's so bad that I'm like scrubbing toilets. And when she buys things, she tries to attach a value to it, to think about, from that piece of item, well, how many toilets does she have to scrub for her to earn that whatever she buys. And I think that for me, working in an hourly job, it's to think about how many hours I would have to work to afford this meal, or to afford this Apple product. That's like 3-4 hours of my time, and it's just not sustainable for the lifestyle that, that you might want, I might want. So I did some more research on her, and it was that she was a businesswoman, and everything was past tense. And I realized she passed away early this year in January of a rare form of cancer. And that has shocked me the entire day. And to think that the video was just posted up, within an hour of me clicking on it, and just to see that this person, this energy, this light, this person who was just so down to earth and willing to share her story, it was actually, she already passed away. And it's just this reminder to myself that I'm not guaranteed tomorrow, that I might have some rare form of cancer like she did. But I would love to respect that spirit of hers and take her advice, or at least consider her advice. But I think that's all I have for today.